Hey guys, welcome back to another video, guys. I hope you been well. Um, yeah, I hope you guys been well. And I know it's been a couple of days since my last upload. I think my last upload was Saturday, and I took Sunday, Monday, and today's Tuesday. So I am going back to my regular upload schedule. Um, I know that I promised to upload for 30 days straight for the month of June, which didn't exactly come out to be exactly all 30 days for upload, but I think I did about like 90% of the month. So, which is to say, I feel pretty proud of myself. Definitely felt a lot of momentum doing a whole month of uploads. And yeah, so, but, hmm. Yeah, home run elbow. Yeah, that was pretty good. And so now we're in a brand new month, guys. We're in the month of July. Can you guys believe it? It's already more than halfway into 2025. And I don't know about you guys. I am feeling pretty excited about it. And I think like anything, right, we're just gotta keep going with this YouTube channel, with my journey, with your journey, whoever everyone's got their own journey. And yeah. Well, a brand new month, what that means for me is that I get a new haircut, and I change my bed sheets. So I don't know how everyone else does it or around the world, or their own habits, but I like to get a haircut every month. And I know some people get some people get two haircuts, so they get a haircut every 2 weeks. But you know I can only afford to get a haircut once a month. And ideally I would like to get one every 2 weeks, but it's not that big of a deal. A haircut a month is already good enough for me. And also I like to change my bed sheets whenever a new month rolls around. That's just kind of how I like to keep my area clean. And every 2 weeks for me is like how often I like to change my sheets, because I care about how my sleep quality is, because the older I get, the more I prioritize having good sleep. And that's important to me. Okay. And yeah, for today's topic, I want to kind of talk about some of the experience, some of the lessons, or actually the most important lesson I've learned as a tennis coach. Some of you guys may know that I coached a year of high school tennis, and I was coaching for a school and their tennis team, not just like coaching as in like teaching a PE class, but I actually coached an actual team for the boys and the girls for an entire year. And you know, I want to say that that experience was very rewarding. It was definitely challenging because it was my first time taking on something like this. Usually I prefer, whenever I substitute teach, I usually prefer to work with the middle school kids, because I don't know, for me, I know I know the demographic of the group is a lot more challenging, especially during middle school. Kids go through a lot of hormonal changes, right? So their behaviors of acting up are more frequent. Um, but I don't know, I felt like even though I was kind of going into coaching, not having any experience, but one thing I did have was my love for tennis, right? I really enjoy tennis. That's something that was passed down to me, that I got to enjoy when I was a high school. When I was high school, and I was part of the tennis team in high school. And I see it as introducing something that other people can enjoy, right? Teaching a sport, that's what it feels like to me. Coaching a team. And and I feel like coaching a team is a little beyond just teaching the sport, right? We're talking about like team camaraderie, and getting people to be on the same page. Because if you think about it, right, any sports that revolves around being in part of a team, right? You're no longer thinking about yourself. You are thinking about the well-being of the team, And I think looking back, I didn't do exactly a good job stressing about that. And it's also my first year, so I'm trying to give myself the empathy and the space to kind of like, make to practice, to get good at it, to make mistakes, because I think uh good teachers, good coaches aren't exactly born. They are made. Like anything, it takes time to get better at it, just like this YouTube channel, right? um you know Maybe the contents will get better over time, maybe not. It's one of those things that you just got to keep going, right? Whatever it is, you got to keep going. Whatever you guys are working on, that you may suck at it in the beginning, but it's important to keep going, because only we can only get better as we keep on going. And what I'm trying to say is that yeah, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I feel pretty anxious today. I don't know. But I know that I'm on the right path because I'm feeling anxious. Um, but I know about, and I also know that once I do this video, I'll feel a lot more better. So this is actually my second take doing this video, so I'm just gonna go at it, right? One of the most important lessons I've learned as a coach is that, and this is something my high school coach have told me when I was asking him for advice when I was first, getting myself mentally prepared to coach the high school tennis team. Um, Lesson I learned is that people don't care how good you are at something. For me, it was like tennis. People don't care how good you are at something or how smart you are. What they care about is how much you put in the effort to be a part of their life, how much you put in the effort to get to know somebody, right? Get to know the players in the tennis team. And I feel like looking back now that I feel like I didn't do a very good job um, showing that to the players on my team. And I'm not saying this like beat myself up, but it's like a reflection that I go through. I have sometimes you have to look inside, right? Look inward and recognize, hey, like, did I do a good job? Could I have done a better job, right? Because that's how we improve, right? By really taking the time to have introspection with how it went and how it can be better. And that's what like improving is all about. You have to recognize sometimes that we have flaws, that we're not perfect, that there are areas of our life that needs to work on. And so that's one of the things I recognize is that I didn't know how to show that I really care about the players on the team. I mean, I feel like I did my best with what I know, and which means sometimes it's still not enough, right? But I think going forward, if I ever have the chance to either coach or teach, um, being coaching a team, teaching a team, I would think I would do a much better job, just because um, you can only get better as you keep doing it. And so I've I only did coaching for a year, but you're probably wondering like, oh, like why are you talking about this, right? Stuff. It's because on Monday when I met up with my some of the people from our church on Monday, we do this. Well, right now we're doing a kind of a book club where we're reading for each Monday. We read a chap. Well, not each Monday. Each week we read a chapter, and on Monday we kind of discuss and talk about it. And for this past Monday, we talked about the book. Here's the book we're reading. The book we're reading is Fighting Shadows. If you are, I guess, part of my church, you would probably know this book because it's been pretty promotion uh pr- promoted. It's been pretty promoted. It's a pretty promoted book at our church. Yeah, guys, like I said, sometimes words just don't come. But I want to keep going. So in one of the chapter we talked about this past Monday was that loneliness and how a lot of men are going through loneliness, and the book kind of talks about some of the things that we should do. And one of the questions that we're discussing in the group was like, what can we do to help others feel less lonely, or invite them out to an environment where they feel more deeply to share. And one of our members was talking about, possibly doing something at work, because he recognizes that he sees loneliness within his coworkers. And I think we all can recognize, people in our life that are might perhaps going through some things, that are perhaps hiding under like a fake smile, or just trying to get through the grind, because the reality is that, like, I think a lot of people face loneliness, and I feel like loneliness is one of those topics that doesn't get talked about, because people feel like there's a shame into it. I think especially with men, it's like there's just mainstream social media narrative that, the men needs to be strong, the men needs to be like, not needs to not show emotion. At least that's what the past narrative is about. But I think more than ever, we're, because of social media, because of phones, technology, even though we are close by technology, is just that these things kind of they're kind of like obstacles into really helping people connect, as like making real connections in real life. And so, like I said, one of our members recognized that, and he wanted to, start reaching out to those people that he sees as lonely. And I said, like, and it reminded me, this conversation when he was talking about it reminded me of like the time I was coaching, and I told him that, like, hey, if you do that, you're gonna be extremely popular at work, because if you think about it, right, most of everyone's life is just, they're just minding their own business, they're just trying to get through the day, right? And if you take the steps to do what no one is doing, i.e., like reaching out to people and being taking action, being the host, you're gonna be the most popular person at work, just because you're doing something that no one else is doing, you know and you're bringing that togetherness at work, and that really reflects who God is, right? Because God wants us to be in a community. It wants us to be in a body of Christ. And sometimes it's tough, even at church. Sometimes I feel kind of lonely, just because I think the church I go to is kind of clicky. Like, if I wasn't in a cell group with other brothers, I don't think I would have kept going to church. I find that it's so hard to plugged in at church, especially if you don't know anybody. And so, like, I think that's one thing I'm trying to do better on, is to invite other people to be a part of my life. And one thing right now I'm trying to do more is to have more shared experiences, right? When we have more shared experiences, those time spent together, not like on like FaceTime, or like on like texting, but it's actual time shared together in person. Those things leads to different things. Because I just definitely feel like most people like to stay on the surface. And I think for me, I prefer to connect with someone deeply. I want to get to know somebody beyond just like, oh, what do you do for work? Where do you live? How long you been attending church, right? I want to get to know somebody's why, right? How come? Why? And like reasons. I'm big on that. And I think one thing I'm trying to do is that I I swim about 4 days out of the week, and 2 of the days where I don't swim, I go for long walks. And one of the things I'm doing right now is to invite brothers, invite friends to be a part of that part of my life. It's believe it or not, it's a very sacred part of me. I really like enjoy my solitude, but I know at the same time, like, we are living in a world where loneliness is becoming prevalent, whether you recognize that or not, or you believe it or not. And it's something that I'm trying to do more and more, because I want to connect deeply with the people around me. I want to start investing in relationships, you know and yeah, I hope this kind of makes sense. And I know it's a little rush, but I definitely feel like I want to get this video out there. And yeah, guys, that is my topic of the day, guys. Sorry, I think there's a bug on me. There's something flying around me. Um, you know, as always, wherever you're watching this, whenever you're watching this, I hope you got the message, and I hope you trying to find one person to connect with deeply, and not just on the surface, but really dig deep to get to know each other, because loneliness is a big issue. And I guess until next time, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.